Hi, everybody. I'm going to go over the directions for how to do the website. So your notes should be all done and have those graded. Your Noodle tools should have all of your sites in them. So now we're going to put the final project together. So please use this to make sure that you understand what you need to be doing. Okay, so first things first, as we're looking at things, you should have your notes all completed. And so if notes are all completed, you've got all of this information already in here in bullet points. If you look this over, you should make sure that things are spelled correctly, that it makes sense, that what you want to say isn't too much, but it also isn't too little. And then if you need to go back to your link to double check to either add more or maybe clarify some things, this is the time to do that. Okay, so food, religion, language, architecture. Remember, architecture is buildings. Okay, so historical buildings, modern buildings, buildings on stilts, things like that. Okay, what kind of art specifically do they do? And then you could also switch some of these out for landmarks, dress, or dress, like the clothing that they wear, or the sports that they play. Okay, so we talked about that. We're kind of updating that. Okay, you must have these two things done as landforms and waterways, and then explain how this is important to the country. Okay, so assuming that this part is finished, then you should also have your Noodle tools all done. So if Noodle tools is all done, then everything that you need there can be very easily used on your website. So if you go to your Noodle tools site, and I pick my Asia project or Uzbekistan, whichever one is accurate. What we're going to be doing here then is you go up to this button up here, which says export or print. And you're going to click on that button. Again, pause this video if you need to listen to me and then go and do something. Feel free to do that, rewind, rewatch, whatever. Okay, you're going to go here and then you're going to go to print export to Google Docs. So when you click this, you just say submit. You want all of your sources on there. Okay, and then you can see that once it goes through, this is what your works cited is going to look like. You can see the indenting and how it's going to be done and how everything is laid out. You can then copy and paste this when you get to your website. Okay, so this is going to be what you're going to use. So that's how you get to that part on Noodle Tools. Okay, what you're going to then do with your project after you've had it checked off by a teacher, the pictures that we're going to use are going to be found on the Google site page. So we're not going to worry about citing those because it's right on that page. So we don't need to use additional pictures. That's why I kept saying don't worry about pictures, which I know is probably hard for some of you. So if you click on this site then and you've logged in, you can start with a blank one, a class one, a club, you know, whatever you want it to look like. So let's just say you start with a blank site. There's all kinds of different things that you can change over here. So over here, there are themes. You've got simple, Aristotle, diplomat, impression, whatever. Okay, so let's just say that you pick diplomat, okay, as your page, or you pick Aristotle as your page, whatever. Okay, then you can also change the colors that you have here. So I kind of like purple, so then you're going to put that here. And then you're probably going to put your name of your country, okay, Asia country name here, okay. Then it always says the font style that you want. Do you want it classic? Do you want it bold? Do you want it modern? You can click that. Okay, and that will change sort of how that looks. Then you go to insert and you can sort of determine how you're going to line yours up. Okay, if you want them like this, you've got a picture that you add over here and then some text. And then you can add another one. If you don't like that, you simply delete it. If you want to have 4 of your things here and then put the text below, you can do that. Don't like it, delete it. Okay, if you want more pictures here to kind of gain attention, you can do that. You can select the colors that you want, the styles that you want. You can duplicate that. Again, don't like it, get rid of it. Okay, so you decide sort of how you're going to do that. So one way might be to simply add this information. Now, let's say I'm going to start with food here. So food in my country. Okay, you would use the name of your country. And then when you go up here, you can click on this and you can do select image. Okay, so right here is where you're going to find your pictures. You go to your Google image search. Okay, and here's now where you're going to find your pictures. Okay, so if I want to see pictures of food in Thailand, I'm going to enter that in, and then it gives me a ton of different pictures. So if there's something specific that I talked about, maybe I talked about shrimp, maybe I talked about soups, maybe I talked about noodles, maybe that's the one I'm going to click. You click on that, and you click insert, and here's your picture then that you're going to put in there. There you go. If you don't like that picture, you can simply remove that. Now, what I would do then is I would go back to my notes that I already have in bullet points under food, and I would simply copy and paste this if it makes sense. Okay, like you've already read it and it makes sense. You're going to copy and paste this into this section. Okay, now I don't really like here that it says number 1, so I'm probably going to get rid of that. I don't really like how this is sort of lined up, so I'm going to fix that. I don't want my colors to be different. Maybe I want to kind of match my picture. So I'm going to then change it to sort of this color maybe because it matches. Maybe I want to change the font to Acme. Maybe I want to make it bigger. Okay, maybe I want to make it bold. Maybe I don't want to make it bold. Okay, maybe I want to highlight certain things. You have all of these different things that you have in here, and you can add that. Then you go on to your next thing. So here it shows food. There's a nice picture there. And then you can go on to the next one. Okay. Then you've only done 2 now. So here's food. Maybe this is religion. Maybe you want to add some more. So now you've decided you're going to add this on here. Same thing. Add your text information on here. Okay. Down at the bottom, add the footer. This is the part where I'm going to put my works cited. It looks very small now, but if you go to your works cited where you had that sources for the Asia project, I'm going to copy and paste this onto the very bottom portion. So there is my works cited. Now, if you notice, everything looks really good until I get to this bottom part. Okay, this doesn't look quite right. First of all, it's not double spaced like the other one. So I want to add that space on there. I then need to indent enough so that it's lining up with these other ones. This one then needs to be also double spaced, and then that's going to look a little bit better. I feel like this still needs to be moved over one. There we go. Maybe a little bit more space. Now it looks pretty much like the other ones. Okay, so we want to make sure that it looks pretty much like it does on here. Oops, not there. On here. If it doesn't, make sure that you fix it so that it does, because that would be counted against you if this part does not look correct. Okay. Now, when I'm adding this information, notice I have that one in brown. So maybe when I'm doing my next part, maybe I want to put a different color of font over here. Remember, the notes don't have to have these pretty colors in like mine did, because I like pretty colors and it helps keep me organized with these links. If I don't have that on here, if this is all black or all blue, that's fine. Where we need pretty colors and where it needs to look attractive is on here. Okay. Notice you can change the image up at the top. Make sure that you title everything. So Asia, oops, country example. Okay, so that you call yours by your names, so that you can go back into your Google site and find it. So when I go into my Google Drive and I look into my Google Drive, I can find it in here. So here's my country example that I just made. So you can then go back here and continue working on it. Okay, so take time to make it nice. If your notes are already done, you're simply taking the information from here and putting it into your website and making it look really nice. Okay, so if you have any questions on anything, please make sure that you let me know. You will have multiple days to work on this too. Okay, and then it should be done and ready to share. I will then show you how to hand in and publish your project when you are done. Okay, so good luck.